Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons. We haven't done a Who Would Win in a while, and today I brought a friend on here. He's actually number one on Forbes' list for top street tier scalers. This is my boy Havoc, a member of the Coffee Shop Comics clan. You want to say what's up?
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy, Big Heavy.
We will be discussing a matchup basically between two big dogs for female martial artists in their verse. Lady Shiva versus Elektra. I'm kind of going to explain Lady Shiva, just kind of briefly go over some shit she can do, what she's done, statements, all that. Havoc's going to then go on to Elektra, and then we're going to talk about who we think is superior and who would win. But anyways, getting into this, Lady Shiva is a legendary martial artist from DC Comics, related to O-Sensei. She would later on go on to be a assassin. As an assassin, regardless of the iteration, whether New 52, Rebirth, or Post-Crisis, she was always considered a world-class martial artist. This includes, in her earliest days, going toe-to-toe with and even beating Richard Dragon at certain points in time. As an assassin, she's considered top tier. Cheshire considers her the top assassin around, which would include the likes of Deathstroke, Deadshot, and whatnot. We see Batman considers her to be the world premiere martial artist and someone who's mastered every form of martial arts. We see Prometheus has her ranked based on his files as the third most dangerous and lethal fighter. So she does have quite the credentials. She's able to go toe-to-toe with and kind of ragdoll Dick Grayson on multiple occasions. She got the drop on Batman, was able to poison him, showing off her collection of assorted weapons, which includes, of course, poison-based weaponry. And she was able to quickly take down a injured Batman and then beat the shit out of Dick Grayson. One of her best things for scaling, in my opinion, is the fact that it's stated she herself is considered obsolete in skill and capability compared to herself a year in the future. So basically, for every year she's progressed in the comics, she's so much further beyond her prior self that her prior self would be considered obsolete, which is incredibly good scaling considering who she's scaled to over the years. Overall, Lady Shiva, in short, is one of the scariest martial artists in DC Comics, a legendary assassin with blades, poison-based weaponry, and is one of the most skilled to ever grace the DC panels. With that, I'm going to let my boy Havoc discuss a little bit about Elektra.
So, Elektra is easily one of the greatest hand-to-hand combatants in Marvel. She is considered the deadliest assassin, even above people like Bullseye, who has beaten characters like Hawkeye, who's able to fight relative-ish to Captain America in the Dark Reign story, back when the Dark Avengers were rolling around in the 2010s. More modernly, she has fought almost equally so to Danny Rand, the Iron Fist, and he needed to use Chi to actually defeat her. We also see things like recently, or as of maybe a month ago, she fought all of the souls of the dead hand with Daredevil, and she actually did better than him. He was panting and on the floor, where she's kind of just melancholy talking to him while they're both laying down. Now, we know the Hand recently has defeated the Punisher casually in sword fighting. There were also, this kind of shows that the Hand has massively gotten better over time, and that even these low tiers, these hand land, literally jobbers, are just getting massively better. They used to fight and just get dogged on by like Deadpool. And then we see Deadpool is losing to Taskmaster using Punisher's techniques. He even says like, "Oh yeah, this guy's just like better than you, just outright." And now we see in hand-to-hand and sword fighting, Punisher's just losing to these nobodies in the hand. And even the headmaster of the hand says that he is pitiful in comparison to them. So Elektra's just like massively just getting better over time as she is beating all of the souls of the dead of the hand. Even in modern times, like the hand has obviously been dying to people like Ares and such. She's also been trained by Stick, Daredevil's master, who honestly is kind of raw. Back in the day, he used to beat up Daredevil regularly with like zero difficulty. And Elektra is considered Stick's greatest student. Now, Stick trains the Chast and everybody to perfection in martial arts. And this is just considered just nothing in comparison to Elektra. We also see in about a month or two ago in this new Daredevil run, Elektra actually fought Stick and defeated him. And Stick says that her using non-lethality actually has made her a better combatant than she ever was before, and that it brought something out of her like deeper within. We also see in the I believe it's called the incoming storyline. It's just like a one shot. Daredevil sees Elektra get like no diffed by this weird like eternity looking guy with a gun, and Daredevil just blatantly admits that if he was able to defeat Elektra, he doesn't stand a chance. There's also like I think probably Elektra's best scaling, arguably, is that she's recently been stated in her 100th Elektra titled comic book. It came out in 2022 in April. It's said in the synopsis that she is the most dangerous human being in the Marvel universe. So that just puts her on this completely new level of skill in comparison to like everybody previous. There is some stuff for like cross scaling for Marvel, but I don't think we need to get into that quite yet. We can talk about that in a minute.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, that's a very good synopsis on Elektra. Now, with both characters kind of discussed, we're going to get into discussing who would win if these two clashed. Now, there's something I don't know if you brought up. You might not have. But Iron Fist, off rip back in the day, was like he knew all the martial arts forms, including ones from the Heavenly Cities. But then in 07 or 08 for the Fraction run, I think it was Fraction, he literally became infinitely more skilled and had like infinite more technique. So everybody that scales to and above that version of Iron Fist is like infinitely more skilled than everything shown before, which is crazy considering like Moon Knight in his opening run knew all forms of combat.
Yeah, even in like the classic comics, characters like Ares just get better over time with martial arts and are confirmed to know all of the aspects of and have complete mastery over all aspects of war, which would obviously include combat. And Ares is fighting. He fights relative to Thor in sheer skill while he's amped back in the classic era, and Thor considers like his own skill to be nothing compared to Captain America. And then Cap fights Iron Fist, and like in classic era, obviously is what I'm referring to. And Iron Fist considers Cap's skill just inefficient and just basic. And then like 30 years later, 40 years later, we see Elektra fighting the same Iron Fist who just is massively above Ares, who knows like every single ancient and modern martial art, and it's kind of just insane how much better she gets over time, how much better Marvel gets over time.
Yeah, Marvel itself, in terms of combative ability, martial arts, and whatnot, they have gone very in depth over the years, and also added to it significantly. Mostly because some of their most popular inverse characters are characters like Iron Fist, Punisher, Elektra, Daredevil. These characters that revolve around the martial arts based circumstances. So they really put emphasis on growing that, as well as the problem with Shiva is she's just not shown as much. And another thing that's not really helping her in this case is that DC doesn't get as extravagant with the martial arts descriptions and whatnot. For example, most numbers you can find are in like the hundreds, whereas Marvel you can easily find numbers of styles in the millions. So it's just in terms of like layering for how many skills, how many practices, all these things. Elektra has a lot more thorough of a case, but to be fair, so do most in her verse compared to DC. In terms of weaponry, I think that's a lot more debatable. Elektra typically has her two blades. I think she carries some ninja stars, right?
Yeah, he carries ninja stars. He used to use these like I don't even know what you would call them. She used to like throw stuff on the floor and like, oh, you step on them now, you're poisoned and you're gonna like die and turn into acid. But I don't think she uses those anymore because obviously she doesn't kill people.
Got you,
Now she
got you.
uses these sides that don't even have a pointed tip.
All right, well, on the other side for Shiva, Shiva carries regular blades, poisoned blades, regular projectiles, poison projectiles. I mean, she does have a pretty good bag of tricks. I think arsenal wise, Shiva has a slight edge. Um, More poisoned weapons and such. And she's pretty good at mixing them in. She's even caught Batman off guard. So I'd give her credit for that. And say potentially better than Elektra's loadout for weapons. For hacks, Shiva doesn't really have any. Whereas I do think Elektra actually has ties to the Beast, right?
Yeah, she doesn't really use it in combat, but she is able to like sit down and summon like the powers of the beast, and she uses it in Savage Avengers recently. But she doesn't really like she has to be in the temple of the beast, and she cannot use that stuff in a fight. It's not like how the Punisher just goes Super Saiyan randomly.
Gotcha. Yeah, she does have hacks, but it's nothing crazy. Um,
Oh, you know
I
what? She does actually. Sorry to cut you off, but she does actually have a helmet that completely mimics Daredevil's radar sense, which I guess would be considered a hack. Which I think that's actually pretty OP. It made her go from fighting like and beating up on one bullseye, and then like she gets jumped by three bullseyes because bullseye had like these clones made of him,
mm-hmm.
and she goes from like getting beat up by those three bullseye to then getting this Daredevil helmet and just no diffing all of them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, that's pretty impressive. I guess if we include that in her gear, things
I
get a
didn't even
little.
think to say that. But when I
Yeah,
hear gear, I'm like, oh, you're stabbing people, like you're using your
yeah,
poison
nah,
darts, your
that.
Raven's nipple beams.
Yeah, that'd be pretty problematic if she uses that for Lady Shiva. Overall, I think the issue here and the reason me and Havoc point to a certain Victor is one is showcased to be massively above what happened before, and the problem is the prior incarnations of Elektra easily scaled to Shiva regardless. But there's a massive Marvel skill jump because of the Iron Fist lore, and as a result, Elektra's just too skilled. Has gear that can rival Shiva's. Has wild feet. Is now the most dangerous on Earth. And overall, is probably just too much for Shiva? Would overwhelm her and take her down? What are your closing thoughts, Havoc?
I think Marvel's pretty good in skill. I know DC is really good as well. Like for our characters like Karate Kid, who Shiva should scale above. You know, like everything up to the 30th, the 31st century or something along those lines in like the
Mm-hmm.
known galaxy. But I just don't see how that really scales to like Iron Fist.
Yeah, nah, it's just really hard to argue that. Even if we highball, let's say, martial arts doubles every year, it still gets to like 1,000, 2,000, few thousand if we highball. Like, champion of the universe is like 20 million. Like, let's relax. It gets big in Marvel for skill. So, overall, if these two were to clash, Shiva, in my opinion, would hold her own, but I think Elektra takes her down mid to high diff. Would you agree?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
Alright, dope. But anyways, guys, make sure to check out Havoc's channel. I'm actually going to hyperlink it in the title. Simply click on his name in the title and it'll take you right to his channel, and make sure to subscribe, as he is a member of Coffee Shop Comics and is one of the best street tier scalers in the game, and in my opinion, one of the most knowledgeable Spider-Man people out there. So you're going to be seeing a lot of Spider-Man villain content coming up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I promise I'll start making content again. I just got a laptop just finally after I don't know months and months. So I'll start pumping out content soon enough. I got like one video up right now, but I'll get some more scaling up. I promise.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So guys, stay tuned for some Havoc content. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure to go subscribe to him, my other channel, Coffee Shop Comics, and subscribe here if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.